Yeah.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Today, we're talking to Art Johnson about the Martin L. King Award and what this award has meant to him to both win and be a part of the decision-making process in the past. So, Art, I'm going to throw it over to you. Why don't you tell us a little bit just about who you are, what you've done in the industry and with RIA?
Sounds good. It's a pleasure to be able to talk about something like this because Marty King played such a large role in the industry, but also in my life too, because everybody recognized him as being the granddaddy of the industry, and he was somebody that I looked up to and recognized right from the very beginning. So thank you for doing this in behalf of him and what that actually meant. Yeah, my name's Art Johnson. I've been in the industry since 1988. I started as a carpet cleaner and kind of evolved into greater things. Obviously, we virtually went into the restoration industry and going through all that growth. And well, actually, when Marty was really taking an active role in the industry, he was our go-to person as we began to look at this industry and understand it and try to get information or some sort of education. So again, going back to 1988 in the industry, we started to hear about Marty King. We joined ASCR at the time and grew from there. So I was in the industry in '88, and then as time grew, we started to realize the value of RIA and got involved in that and grew that way. I'm actually an independent contractor. I provide education to the industry. Plus, I work along with companies such as your Restoration Coach with Dan Murray and Restoration Co with Kevin Dooley and Megan DeJanis, and also with Restoration College doing education. So all of these companies I work along with as an independent contractor, I provide education for them and also some consulting work. So I'm supposed to be semi-retired. That's not the case. And as you
Never
probably know,
happens.
exactly, with the CLS program and the CS&T program through RA, it still keeps us busy to this day. So that's kind of the long and the short of it. Just a brief about my family. I have a wife, Donna, of 47 years, and 2 daughters and 5 grandchildren. And my passion besides restoration is trucks.
Oh, okay. I love that your focus is on education. How has it been, just out of curiosity, off topic a little bit, how's it been the last year where education and training suddenly became a whole new world online? Did you have a crazy year sort of trying to get that settled for folks?
It was very different to get used to it. I know even the CS&T program went online. Lori and I delivered it. You recorded it, and now they can go on there and take it in the space of their own homes or whatever. But I, even though I do a lot of training online, nothing beats in person, and that connection. And it's simple, something as simple as the eyes open up, or there's a nod, or interaction. I really like in-person training, but we do what we have to do. And because of online training, I think education has really increased. People are taking advantage of it because it's so much easier to sit in front of a computer and take it and kind of get up to speed educational wise. So I think it's helped that way. It's just that I can't wait to get back where we're in a classroom or in an environment we can work side by side with students and others. So.
Yeah, my staff has been really mixed on it. They're like, it's great that we have access all to this, but like we miss being with other folks in a classroom.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so when you're talking about education, so many individuals say, "Oh, I got it." And then when you walk around the classroom, you realize they don't got it. So it's just that opportunity to work with them and encourage them and you know what, just have some fun. And and people are, I think, shyer on the camera than they are in person too. So.
I think so too. Well, lovely. Thank you for that sidebar. Okay, let's jump back on point. So what year did you actually win your Marty L. King Award? Do you remember?
2011.
2011. Okay.
Yes.
And what was that like? Do you remember the unraveling and the reveal and the surprise? Tell me a little bit about what that evening was like for you.
Well, for one thing, you go into the room and you're looking forward to seeing all these people be recognized for what they've done for the industry. And we were all benefiting from the efforts of all these individuals. So you never think of yourself as being in a situation where you could be recognized for something you do. And no one's in it for that. They're just in it to just kind of give back to the industry, or not even give back to the industry, because I was relatively young in it, but it was just a matter of doing your part. And so as I'm sitting in the room, I'm starting to listen to the announcement as to the career path that this individual had gone down and what they had contributed. And then all of a sudden something clicked with me, and that's weird. And, I think all the past recipients, and just like me today, from 2011 on, we just, we watched the person that's nominated. So I would suspect all those ones that were, before me were kind of watching me, and all of a sudden, where I'm kind of, and your eyes get really big, and then you start to sweat and squirm, and then your heart starts to thump, and you start to realize they're talking about you. And that's probably the last thing you would ever expect to happen. So anyway.
I love how you describe the physical discomfort as the realization.
Oh, that was a long walk to the stage with a very, very hard heartbeat going on.
You remember what you said? Because that's also, you can't prepare, right? So do you remember what you talked about? No.
I do remember something, and that was, what, from my perspective, I was just doing my job, and that was working hard for an industry that I loved and I recognized had tremendous value to us as restorers. So I was given assignments, and I just, sitting on councils, making myself available, and I was just doing my job from my perspective, and with hopefully with passion, right? Which is what really motivated me in the first place.
That's lovely. Okay, so tell me a little bit about Marty. I know about his career. I know what he's done for the industry, but I personally didn't know him. So I love these opportunities to speak with the folks who knew and interacted with him. So tell me about, what did Marty do that allowed him to have an award named after him?
Going back in the history of my relationship with ASCR and eventually RIA, when he walked into the room, he commanded attention. For one thing, he was always so smartly dressed. And when I look at a person that comes into a room like that, and amongst a bunch of contractors and things like that, not only does it command attention, but it shows a tremendous amount of respect for the other people in the room. Back then, it's a little bit different now. It's just the whole environment we live in. But back then, he commanded the room. But besides that, Martin was trying to educate based on what he was learning, educate the contractors, to bring them up to speed, to train them, to teach them. And it was so new. And he was really the true source of everything that we understood, in a sense, for me anyway, because he was so well educated, and his willingness to share information with us was so obvious. And he could be reached almost any time and respond to your questions, very personable. And I was actually very fortunate to get my CR training or certification with him and Bill Lakin as co-instructors. So I had an opportunity to be in that classroom, and that's something I will never forget. And I really appreciate Martin for what he provided for us. It was the highest level of education in the industry, second to none. So it's amazing.
Wow. So what does being Marty L. King Award winner mean to you?
Well, like I said earlier, I think that most people that win this award never feel worthy of the award. You look around the room and you think that no, that's for someone else, someone that's that you have a lot of respect for. And so by winning the award, it really did validate the effort you did put in, but you didn't expect it. Right. So winning the award for me too is I was an international member being in Canada. So that means that really kind of illustrated the fact that we were an international association. So that was very rewarding to see. But I think for the award for me, it was not about what I could get from it. It was probably about just the honor of being a part of this organization. And for me, that year was a busy year, contributing to some things, but it was just a kind of a sign of appreciation for what we had done. So I kind of call it a lifetime achievement award, but at the same time, that was 2011. I'm still working harder than I've ever worked in relationship to the CLS program and the CS&T program, and again, just working along with others. So it means a lot to me.
Yeah. Do you feel like that award winners have a certain responsibility or are granted some sort of next step they need to do in their career as winners of this award?
I believe that it should be maybe a gateway into making sure that we stay with the industry, that we go beyond this, and that it's an opportunity for us to look at ourselves as being necessary to the industry, to be there, kind of like, we've got to this point now. It's time to make sure that we don't let the industry down by retiring too soon or giving up or saying, I achieved this, I'm done. It's an opportunity to advance the industry and to really give back and to be there as a resource for other individuals that are growing in the industry, and really about I'm going to say sacrificing ourselves for the advancement of others. And when I say that, it's just making ourselves available, being a go-to person and things like that to promote the industry, encourage people in the industry. So
yeah, I love that concept of this isn't the end, right? This is now you're a certified expert in so many ways, and now we've officially told you we think you're an expert, and therefore you can't go anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I do love the industry. Yeah,
I know. It's funny. I've talked to a few people on these kind of historical subject matters. I've talked to Patty Harmon. So it's sort of been like an overwhelming, like, we are good people, and you go to a show and you're surrounded by people you want to be with. And I think we're so lucky that we've had that. And I think that can be traced directly back to, people like Marty who set the standard.
Yeah, I agree. In fact, I was going to mention too that all the education that we do have at RIA, you can see the threads of Marty's beginnings throughout it all. The CS&T, the CLS for me, and the WLS, they're all threads coming from what Marty had actually originally contributed to this industry. We've, over the years, we may be, kind of like what you call a centerpiece of a table. We've enhanced and made it look a little better, but it was Marty that set the table, kind of thing. So it's really encouraging to see that his legacy has definitely continued on.
I love that. All right, so this is a weird question, but I want you to think about maybe the spirit of it. But let's say there's a path to earning this award, or there's, if you have this as a career goal, what would you recommend people sort of strive to accomplish in order to be considered for this award?
I do appreciate the term career goal, but I think it should be a consequence of a career already established. I think it needs to be, we look at what we can do for the industry, and I know it sounds cliche in a sense, but what we can do for the industry, and work hard at contributing to wherever we can, whether it be on councils or groups or whatever opportunity we have of just helping, and it will develop into a career accomplishment or accreditation based on what you've achieved. So for anyone that's actually in this industry, I just say, work hard at promoting RIA, promoting the industry, helping out wherever they possibly can, taking a job seriously. It's all volunteer. So take it seriously, accomplish what you've been asked to accomplish, contribute, have a passion, and let the award just be a compliment to what you've already contributed to the industry. And that's probably all I can say, because ambition necessarily doesn't bring the heart into it. I think having this as a career and then getting the award, that's an accomplishment of the heart. I think that's just very important to look at it from that perspective.
Oh, that was lovely. And it's funny, in talking to people about Marty, that comes up so much, the heart and the passion and this can't be something you plan for. It's something that you happen upon. It's something that others recognize in you.
That's correct.
And that's hard to plan for.
Yeah.
I love that. Do you have anything outside of this, a story you want to share? Anything else you want to kind of get into the records for Marty? And that way we'll have it and I can do a little closing after.
All I can say is that almost every organization, every nation, every group of individuals has someone that has the greatest impact on them, someone that has done something that creates either a compliment to what you're doing or an ideal of where you can reach to. And I think Marty probably did a little bit of both for everyone. And he set the standard for education, not only education to himself, but also to the industry. And his preparedness to be able to give that to us and provide that to us, I think it was he became that person that really inspired the industry and kept it going and things like that. And there was also people besides Marty that did that. But if you could say that one person stands up to represent all those ones, Marty did an amazing job of that. So he will be somebody that I always will remember as being the granddaddy of the industry and moving us up to where we were really a respected industry. We knew what we were doing. It was a standard that we could, like I said, climb to in our performance and things like that. And so that's probably my biggest point, is that he was the beginning of taking things really seriously and adding accreditation to this industry and to us as individuals.
That's perfect. Thank you. Well, and I thank you for your time, your dedication, your responsibility, your giving back to RIA. As you said, it is volunteer based and you have volunteered a lot.
Thank you very much.
We'll hope to see you in Kissimmee, and if not, we'll see you at the next one.
Yeah, sounds good. I'll be online hopefully if it's available. So
awesome.
Right. Okay.
Thank
you so much. I appreciate it.
Okay, let me just stop recording.